Hello, my friends. We're going to continue discussing A Course in Miracles. Today, specifically, um, a thought that came to me concerning chapter 11, which is we can either be hostage to the ego or a host to God. We can be hostage to the ego or host to love. That as a host to love, then the ego is seen through completely, doesn't exist. However, when we are hostage to the ego, we don't experience perfect love. It doesn't mean perfect love doesn't exist. Perfect love is who and what we are. It always exists. But when we are in the grip of the ego, when we are hostage to the ego, then we experience a world in which separation exists, which scarcity and lack all exist. Perfect love isn't experienced. Perfect love can't see scarcity. It can't have fear. Otherwise, it wouldn't be perfect. So find out where you are. Here's our guidance system. What am I experiencing right now? Am I experiencing fear in any of its many guises? Judgment, resentment, grievances, all aspects of fear that are projected out into the world. Scarcity, lack, any of that. And there we are. As soon as all we got to do, be aware, examine it. Remember the lesson from the 5 afflictions of the mind in yoga, the kleshas? Everything changes through awareness. That all the stuff that goes on in the mind, when awareness is simply brought to bear upon them, they begin to change instantly. We can substitute the word awareness with absolute love, unconditional love, perfect love. It's the same. Perfect love has no conditions. Awareness has no conditions. Now, attention's like a laser within awareness. We can turn our attention wherever. But awareness itself is simply and always aware without bias. Therefore, awareness is synonymous with perfect love. So each moment is a barometer. Where are we? Hostage to the ego? Living in scarcity, living in fear? Or are we being host to perfect love? Here's the amazing thing. Perfect love never abandons us. Always here. So if we are experiencing fear, it might seem like the most difficult thing in the world. Turn to perfect love. Ask the Holy Spirit for a miracle. A miracle is simply another way of seeing things. So we ask the Holy Spirit, I know there's another way. I no longer want to live my life according to what the ego dictates. I no longer want to be a hostage to my ego. Let's not even call it my ego. The ego. Saying my ego is the ego claiming itself, making it real. So, perfect love casts out fear. If we are experiencing fear in any way, which we do, which I do. I talked about that yesterday, my own recent experiences with fear, with thoughts of scarcity. And my approach, which is to surrender. Another thing that came in my reading this morning, I love my recent study with the textbook of A Course in Miracles. It's a very intuitive approach, unlike the textbook, where you start with lesson 1, you work your way to 365, you only do 1 lesson a day. I did that for many years, unsuccessfully, starting back over at 1. Didn't matter, even a little work. As it says in the Bhagavad Gita, even a little effort upon the spiritual path bears great benefits and results. So none of that was held against me. It prepared me for when I finally sat down and said, this is the year, 365 lessons, and I did. Then I sort of worked with an intuitive approach with that, but I felt the need to start over, day 1, work my way through again. With the text, however, In the morning, I let my fingers scroll through the index, stopping wherever, or my eyes will skim, stop wherever something calls to me. That's what I need to read. It has not failed. The exact thing that I need to read for that day, or maybe that week, or maybe it's a theme that I need to hear over and over and over again. So another thing that caught my attention is that love is a creative energy. Obviously, as we are created in love, as the universe was created in love, as only love is real. Didn't create any of this. This is the illusion created by the ego. However, if you want to alter the illusion, enter love, enter the creative power, of love, and allow it to guide you. Allow love to guide you, allow the Holy Spirit to guide you, which is the voice of love. It is literally love given voice, which is why we can turn to it and say, I need another way of seeing things. I no longer wish to be hosts or hostage to the ego. I wish to be the host of love's presence. If you want to make a meaningful change in your life, extend love. Extend love. Give. If you're feeling scarcity, if you're feeling lack, if you're feeling whatever, give. Give what you have. And here's what you have. Here's the only thing that you have. Ever. You have love. Give it away. See what happens. All right, guys. That's it for today. We'll talk tomorrow. Take care.